That is where the key is. All things only work together when you fulfill the 26th and the 27th verse. Go ahead.
Likewise, the Spirit also helps in our weakness.
The Spirit also helps in our weakness. So the Spirit enables you to govern your soul and not to live your life by the dictates of your emotions or the soul. Go ahead.
For we do not know what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit himself makes intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
Years ago, I was in a conference in Atlanta. And sitting down there in Atlanta in the meeting, the Holy Ghost said to me, go to your hotel room and pray right now. And I said, Lord, that is a good word coming forth. And God said, you got to do it now, son. So I excused myself, went into my hotel room, and I began to pray in the Holy Ghost because I had no understanding of what was going on. And as I prayed in the Holy Ghost for about an hour, 20 minutes, I began to have an understanding and interpretation of the tongues I was praying to the Father. That is a possibility. You can train yourself to a point where you can speak and interpret it. And in the spirit, I understood that I was interceding for my elder sister in London. So I called the husband and I said, how is Dorothy doing? And he said, how did you know? And I said, what's going on? He said, she's at the intensive care. It doesn't look too good. And I said, don't worry about it. It's taken care of. He said, what do you mean? I said, I have prohibited death and hell by prohibition powers not to touch her. And I said, I'm standing in the gap. And I said, the enemy has to get to me first before he can get to her. So I said, tell her it's between me and the enemy, and she can be at peace. They were getting her ready for surgery. She was pregnant. And the baby was long overdue. It was about 9-10 months old. Long overdue. So they had to induce her and get her immediately for the surgery. And there were all kinds of complications. After the prayer, and I spoke to the husband, in less than 2 hours, he called me back. And he said that after we spoke at the hospital, few minutes after, the baby turned around. And brought the head out. And for the first time after having babies 4 times with cesarean, for the 5th time, because somebody stood in the gap, she had the baby naturally without being cut. Read.
Now he who searches the heart knows what the mind of the Spirit is, because he makes intercessions for the saints according to the will of God.
28. Go ahead.
And now we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose.
You know what it means? It means that as long as I pray in the Holy Ghost, because when I pray in the Spirit, I pray selflessly. I don't pray for myself. I pray for others. I pray according to the will of God. Because when I'm praying for you, at a particular time, I don't know what you need. I can ask God to give you money, but maybe at that time you are in the air flying and you are going through some bad weather and you need the aircraft to be stabilized. And you need some peace and protection in the heavens, and I'm asking God to bless you financially. That is not what you need. But when I pray in the Holy Ghost, I will pray according to the will of God for that particular need at that hour. Is anybody hearing me? Shout, I hear you. Kidoboho Shata. Somebody lift up your hands and begin to pray in the Holy Ghost right now. Mandolos.